Yes, Colin Cowherd has sparked a Twitter controversy among Chicago Bears fans. And ultimately, the question is, should we believe this? Welcome into Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. Cowherd claims that USC quarterback Caleb Williams and his camp don't want to play for the Chicago Bears. We're going to get into what he said. We'll react, and I'm going to give 5 reasons why Caleb Williams should want to be a Bear if they decide to go in that direction. Here's Cowherd yesterday. He said there's some concerns here that dad, talk about Carl Williams, Caleb's dad, is a little too involved. You're going to think I'm nuts here. I still think it's possible that Washington trades up and Chicago allows them to trade up because Caleb and his group don't want to go to Chicago. He's from the D.C. area. The big concern for Caleb Williams, and you have to admit this, where you land matters. Chicago has never developed a star quarterback. Now, my initial reaction yesterday when I saw this clip going wild, I saw Danny Parkins freaking out on the score, was, oh boy, like, come on, man, really? Like, and this, by the way, I should just mention this. Regardless of what side you're on, keep Fields, draft Caleb, pick someone else. If this was true, what Cowherd is saying, and I'm going to kind of dive into think whether it is or isn't, you don't want this to be the case. Like, even if you're Team Justin, because it lowers the value of the number 1 pick if Caleb forces his way out of Chicago being able to draft him. So let's get that out there. Now, my let this simmer reaction, 30 minutes, hour, slept on it, woke up, all that stuff, this is way too loose of a statement by Cowherd, in my opinion. Now, he kind of, during the segment, was like, I've been sitting on some stuff, and he's had some scoops before, but he's not really a reporter. I know he's connected to LA. He's got some connections to that USC program, but here's what I would say. If you're going to throw that claim out there and you're wrong about it, that's pretty damaging, because if you're Caleb Williams, Carl Williams, and you're being asked like, yo, why are you trying to force your way out of the Bears potentially drafting you number 1? And they're like, we're not doing that. That's a damaging statement by Cowherd. So if he's going to throw that out there, he better stand by it, and he better have some good information on it, because if not, that's a pretty bad look, in my honest opinion. Now, how accurate do you think this statement from Cowherd is? Scale from 1 to 10. 1 being it's complete garbage, no truth to it whatsoever. 10 being you think it's completely true. He's going to force his way to Washington or to another team because they don't want to be in Chicago. I personally would give it a 2 or a 3. I'm not going to completely dismiss it, because there were rumblings before the season that they could, depending on who's drafting number 1, they could decide to go back to college, but they didn't go back to college. They could, do this, do that. But without more information and without one of the big gun reporters dropping something on this, it's hard for me to give it that much validity. So 2.5, like, I won't completely dismiss it, but after sitting on it for 12 hours, I'm not overly concerned at this point about it. Now, join us and subscribe to the channel, because QB rumors are dropping every day. We have a big Justin Fields one we're going to get into on our second video today. So subscribe, turn on notifications. We'll have you covered on everything surrounding the Chicago Bears. Don't miss out. It's going to be a whole lot of fun here on Chicago Bears Now. So I want to turn that, and my reaction to that, which is I'm not putting that much stock into it, into this. Why Caleb Williams should want to be a Bear. And, historically you might say, well, they haven't had quarterback success here. It could be different this time, and there are some reasons why I think that could be the case. Starting with number 1. You already have a true number 1 wide receiver in place in DJ Moore. DJ Moore last year had the best year of his career, and that was after having already established himself as a top wide receiver in this league. The numbers speak for themselves. The chemistry he's built with Justin Fields, which is why he's vouched for Justin Fields, and I appreciate him doing that. But regardless of who the quarterback is, you got that dude already. DJ Moore is here, and that should be appealing for any quarterback. For Justin, if he stays. For Caleb, for Drake May, Jaden Daniels, like, you have a guy that you know from day dot you can trust in DJ Moore to be reliable, to be open, and to make plays for you. And that has not always been true with quarterbacks picking number 1 in the draft, which, by the way, this is a unique number 1 pick for the Bears because it's not their own pick. They had the 9th pick, which shows they are not in a horrible situation. Carolina was last year, even though they traded up because they got rid of DJ Moore. Guess who Bryce Young's number one receiver he walked into was? Adam Thielen, who's well over the hill. Trevor Lawrence in 21. Marvin Jones Jr. That's why they've added Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, etc. Joe Burrow had T. Higgins, but even they drafted Jamar Chase the next year. Kyler Murray, Larry Fitzgerald, who was well past his prime. Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, who was a nice player, but not exactly a wide receiver one. Jared Goff, when he came into the league, the best receiver in St. Louis, by the way. Now they're the LA Rams. Kenny Britt. Jameis Winston had Mike Evans, so that's a pretty good one to walk into. Andrew Luck had Reggie Wayne, but he was over the hill at that point. Cam Newton had Steve Smith, who was still pretty good, but a little past his prime. Sam Bradford had Danny Amendola. DJ Moore is better than most of those guys, right? So if you're Caleb Williams, you're looking at this like, yo, I already got DJ Moore to throw the football to? Sweet. Like, that's a good starting point if you are any quarterback coming into this situation. 4 more reasons why any quarterback, especially Caleb Williams, should want to come here. But first, do want to talk about our sponsor today. That is PrizePicks. The big game is less than 2 weeks away. I, for one, can't wait. But in the meantime, I'm playing PrizePicks every night, baby. We got the NBA, college hoops, NHL, 2 to 6 player entries where you select more or less on their stats that PrizePicks provides. And if you hit, boom, you are cashing out. I've got this 4-player entry for Super Bowl 58, 10 to win 100. You're already getting one of the 4 to connect. Patrick Mahomes, more than half a passing yard, unless he gets hurt in warm-ups, that's going to hit. And by the way, if that were to happen, since he gets hurt in the first half, he would just be removed from the player entry, and it would become a 3-player entry, because that's what PrizePicks does. They give you first-half injury insurance. I like Isaiah Pacheco to find the end zone. He's been a touchdown machine. Deebo Samuel, give me the less on receiving yards. The Chiefs defend receivers much better than they defend running backs and tight ends, which is why I have Christian McCaffrey going more on his receiving yards. Again, that is 10 to win $100, 10 times the money there. You can win up to 25 times your money on any given entry. So get signed up today. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a deposit match up to $100. This is the time to sign up, because Super Bowl Sunday is coming, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We appreciate PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. Check the comments, check the description for that link and promo code. All right, number 2, second reason to want to come here. Very reliable tight end in Cole Kmet, a guy who's gotten better every year, who, by the way, it's kind of crazy to think about, is still only 25 years old. I mean, he was playing as a 21-year-old his rookie season, but this guy just chips away, man. I mean, you look at his career path. I mean, it's 28 to 60, a little dip in catches and yards, but became that red zone threat in 2022. Kind of had that complete season this year where he had by far the best year of his career as a blocker, 70 career high in catches and yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, he's kind of the heart and soul of what it means to be a Chicago Bear. So you've got him, you've got DJ Moore. Now, let's be clear, you need more, because after those 2 guys, in terms of receiver and tight ends, it's a big drop-off. You definitely need more. But that is a decent starting point where a lot of number 1 pick quarterbacks don't have that coming in. Like Bryce Young last year, you watch him try to play in Carolina, he's just got nothing, man. Like there's nothing to work with. And I'm not even mentioning some young, promising offensive linemen. I'm not saying this O-line is great, but it's got the potential to be pretty good this year. So you've got all that going on. And then number 3, I mentioned you need more, but guess what? You got assets to build with, to add more pieces to this roster, as the Chicago Bears have. Oh, by the way, in addition to the number 1 pick, if they take Caleb Williams, they have the number 9 pick. 2 top 10 picks, currently projected over $60 million in cap. That can get to over $80 million if they cut Eddie Jackson and Cody Whitehair, who both are prime cut candidates. You can do a lot with those type of assets, man. You can go add some key pieces in free agency on both sides of the football, which helps Caleb Williams regardless of which side. The Bears will add more talent. That you can take to the bank. There's no doubt about it. They've got cap space to spend. They got draft capital to use. They could trade down from 9. In a scenario where they draft a rookie quarterback, they would trade Justin Fields for more draft picks. So the Bears are going to add more talent regardless of who the quarterback is. But anyone playing quarterback in Chicago should feel good about coming here. And by the way, I'm mentioning all this without even talking about the new offensive coaching staff additions. Shane Waldron, upgraded OC. You get Thomas Brown on this staff. Like, you should feel good about where this thing is heading, at least on paper. Name a player you want the Bears to sign or draft. Keep quarterback out of it. Who do you want to add to this football team? Do you want to sign Mike Evans? Do you want to draft Rome Odunze, Brock Bowers? Who do you want to be on this Bears football team? Drop a name or multiple names in the comment section below. Couple more here. A potentially elite defense. I think we all are in agreement and all think that this is going to be a good defense. This was a good defense last year, especially the final 8 or 10 games or so. And what is a young quarterback's best friend? Well, I mentioned Cole Kmet and DJ Moore earlier. Good players around him offensively. But it's a defense that can bail you out sometimes, right? Like, if Caleb Williams comes here, even if he's good, he's going to have some rookie struggles. Well, the Bears had a lot of takeaways last year, and I expect that to be the case this year. Give you some short fields, get some key stops. At minimum, this is going to be a top 10, top 15 defense. And based on what they do this offseason, it could have a chance to be top 5. Now, I think it's probably more in that 6 to 10 range if I had to guess. But top 10 defense, that'll play, especially if they continue to build on the offensive side of the football. And then lastly, not really a tangible like personnel or coach reason or anything like that, but just like the opportunity, right? And I said this with Justin Fields, and it's still the case with Fields. That chance is still there if the Bears keep him. But the chance to be a Chicago sports legend, and specifically a Bears legend. Cowherd is right for sure about one thing. And look, maybe he's right about what he said. I don't want to completely dismiss what he threw out there. I just think to throw it out there that loosely was a little bit reckless, but neither here nor there. This is one thing he's right about. The Bears don't have a good QB history. They just don't. They haven't developed well. They've typically drafted the wrong guy historically. That is completely true. There's a variety of reasons for that. But if you're Caleb Williams and you're known as this, this confident, swagger, at times arrogant guy, shouldn't you take that challenge head on? Like, yo, if I'm the quarterback that figures it out in Chicago, I'm a legend, man. I got statues around Soldier Field or wherever the future stadium's going to be. I can live for free forever in Chicago, never have to buy, like, all that stuff. Like, you are on the Mount Rushmore. You could be next to Michael Jordan in this city if you hit and bring a Super Bowl here, and you're a big reason why. Like, to me, that is a hell of an opportunity if you're Caleb Williams. And again, I do want to reiterate this. This is not a typical team picking number 1 overall. This is the Panthers pick. The Bears went 7-10. They improved throughout the season. After 0-4, they went 7-6. This is a team on the rise with good young players and assets to add more. Like, you are not walking into a dumpster fire of a situation if you are Caleb Williams, which is what Justin Fields walked into, which sucks for Justin Fields if they don't keep him and move on, because he walked into a dumpster fire, and that's what it's been. That won't be the case for the next quarterback if they make a change, though. So here's the bottom line. Until Caleb Williams' camp comes out or he himself makes it clear, like, I don't want to play for the Bears, I want to go to Washington, back near his hometown or somewhere else, like, don't feed into that idea. And I don't want to disparage Cowherd. Like, he's had a long career and he's had some scoops on some things, but he threw it out there very loosely, didn't really source anything. So I'm not going to put that much stock into that unless I hear more. And I don't want to, say I like Ian Rappaport more than Cowherd, completely different jobs, but remember this tweet when Caleb Williams declared, the last part of this tweet, the Heisman Trophy winner enters the process excited for whoever ends up selecting him. He's a reporter. He's not going to throw that in there just as like a throw-in. He probably heard something from Caleb's camp like, hey, we're excited for whatever opportunity comes our way. Like, I'm not going to overreact. And, oh, by the way, this coming in this morning, at least surfacing on Twitter. I don't know exactly when it happened, but this is Caleb Williams' Instagram profile picture right now. Him as a kid wearing a T-shirt with a bear on it. I'm not going to, buy into what Cowherd said until I hear more. Caleb Williams should embrace Chicago. If the Bears want him, they should draft him. Don't be scared about it. And again, this is not my video of Fields versus Caleb. I'm just talking about why Caleb should want to come here, why there are legitimate reasons to want to come here if the Bears go down that road. So we'll see what happens. I think if the Bears want him, they're going to take him until proven otherwise. Do you want Caleb Williams? I know a lot of you guys want to keep Justin Fields. So type W for want or D for don't. Let us know down in the comment section down below. W for want or D for don't. All right, guys, jam-packed video there. Appreciate you if you made it to the end. Again, regardless of what side of the QB debate you're on, we can respect, the opposition's opinions, even if we disagree. Although it feels impossible to do that in today's landscape. Subscribe. We'll be back later. There's another wild Justin Fields rumor out there that we're going to dive into. My name is Harrison Graham. Bear down. We'll see you soon.